Welcome to episode 20. Oh my gosh, we can almost buy liquor. Episode 20 of the Illinois podcast. I'm here, of course, with my beautiful co-host, who I happen to be married. How you doing today, babe?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
Oh, Neha, you know I'm doing better because I'm with you. A lot of cool things popping off here. NBA playoffs are up and running, right? And
they're coming to the end.
They are coming to the end. So, since last week, the Celtics took care of the Indiana Pacers. Now,
it was a very gentlemanly sweep.
No, gentleman's sweep would have been 4-5. Good job with that, by the way. They swept them.
It was an ungentlemanly sweep.
They were not gentlemanly at all. They're like, we're sweeping you, and we're not going to be gentlemanly. So you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
So they beat them 4-0. Now the Celtics have been really lucky. They got to play the Heat, and Jimmy Butler got hurt, so they didn't have to play against Jimmy Butler. Who the heck did they play?
They played Philadelphia.
They played
Joel Embiid.
Did they? No, Joel. No.
Well, he was kind of there.
No, Joel Embiid played against the Knicks. Played against another team. Can't remember right now. And then now they just played
Cavaliers.
Played against Ross. Hey, she's not just pretty fake. She's pretty smart. They did. They played against Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell got hurt, so they didn't have to face Donovan Mitchell or
Spider.
If you ever see Goodfellas, you know Spider. And also Jared Allen, who's an all-star for them too. They didn't have to play against them. Then they got
don't mess with Joe Pesci.
Hey, talking to me. Yeah, Spider in the Goodfellas movie was the waiter that was like, hey, why don't you go fuck yourself, Tommy? And then oh my gosh, we did it. We said we were getting more art. No, we're doing it.
I told you, don't worry about Mama.
Well, Mama, we'll believe it, Mama. And then he ended up shooting Spider's foot later on and killed him. Whole story. Goodfellas, good movie. If you've
But Joe Pesci, yeah,
great actor. But as Tommy in Goodfellas, don't mess with him. Hey, don't mess with him, right? You don't want to mess with him. But
until he goes to get made, and then he's done.
He's done. You're right.
Yeah, he just screwed too many people, so then they're like,
yeah. Anyways, so Spider, good call, good pull. Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen, who's also an all-star. They didn't have to play them. And then now they play against the Pacers, and right away, Tyrese, our boy, Tyrese Halliburton, he got hurt. So the Celtics have had, in my estimation, probably the easiest trip to the finals of anyone, because like every good team they played, like their best players couldn't play. So, but extremely talented, best regular season record, steamrolling. They lost twice, but won the rest. Steamrolling through the playoffs. They're going to play the winner of the Mavericks. Who are the two best players on the Mavericks?
Luka Dončić. And the other clutch player?
Kyrie
Irving.
Yes. So Kai and Luka are playing against Ant-Man and our Minnesota Timberwolves and Karl Anthony Towns. Catman? No. But Ant-Man. And we were assuming before we did this today that the Mavericks, who won the first 3 games, they're gonna sweep.
Well, they were not the second seed; they were the top seed out of those two.
The Timberwolves were.
Yeah. Timberwolves
were. Yeah, good call. But the Mavericks won the first 3 games, and especially with Game 4 in Dallas, I thought that Dallas was going to beat Minnesota, and
but
didn't happen.
Ant-Man wasn't going to let him.
Ant-Man was not having it. Catman? Can we call him Catman? No. But Catwoman? But Catwoman. Karl Anthony Towns.
I mean, are we talking about the WNBA?
Not yet. We're getting there. Hey, you know our podcast. We are getting there. But yeah. So now Ant-Man and Catwoman they forced now going to Game 5 in that series in the Western Conference Finals.
And I mean, could they win 4, 5, or 6, 7, or 5, 6, and 7? Has it ever been done?
So great call. So
no, it hasn't.
In baseball, it most certainly has. It was back when the Red Sox won their first championship in 2004. They were down 3-0 to the Yankees to see who could go to the World Series. They beat the Yankees the next 4 games. Crazy. It's happened in hockey multiple times. It doesn't. You can't equate it in football because in football in the playoffs it's 1 game and you're done. So there's no best of 7 or anything like that. So you can't beat.
It's too hard on the body to do 7 games.
But it has happened exactly 0 times. So you're right. It's never happened in NBA. And you know what I love about something that's never happened before? It's bound to happen. I don't know if it'll happen in our lifetime. Could happen now. But it's bound to happen. And if there's a team I could see maybe making it happen, it could be the Timberwolves because they're led by that bad man, Ant-Man, at 22 years old. Man, is he fun! And I know we've been touting him and we dig him. So we're gonna keep watching. I think.
I mean, was he born in the 2000s?
22. If you do the math.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He's like a millennial.
Yeah, is he?
I think so.
Okay, well, I'm not.
No, we are not millennials.
No, we're not millennials. But doesn't matter what we are. We're not millennials. But it's exciting.
We are prior to the 90s. We've already revealed it.
Yeah, it's not our gender reveal. It's our age reveal. We're older than that. But so we'll see. But it's been fun.
That's why we shout out this good music and stuff.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm actually
wouldn't know.
Speaking of good music, like, you know, obviously before we were around, but like during our lifetime, you know, Rolling Stones.
Not my lifetime. Maybe his.
Well, the Rolling Stones are still playing now. So unless you like don't exist, you know what I mean?
Are they still playing?
Oh yeah. They're in like their 70s. Mix up there, you know.
Wow.
Keith Richards, he's like, hey,
the more and more I learn of these 70-year-olds still doing stuff, including our president, he's like way beyond, you know, but that's a whole nother topic.
Not the Illinois topic, but a whole nother topic. But anyways, we got sidetracked and I love it. But we're going to watch them again tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be game 5. It's going to be in Minnesota. I'm guessing. I bet Minnesota's going to win. Minnesota's going to win, make it 3-2.
Oh, you're betting. Oh, you're telling people to bet.
I did.
But you didn't hear, if they lose, you didn't hear it.
Didn't hear it from me. Remember that? Or before? Nice.
Back to our betting.
Yeah. Bet on them.
We haven't been betting on the NBA like we were on the football.
No, a little bit different, a little bit. Basketball is a lot harder.
did bet on the NBA back when we were betting on the football, and I didn't win it.
No, she tried to parlay, and it was it didn't work out. But no. You tried. But we're gonna watch. I know that's tomorrow, so I'm pretty stoked about it. I know you are too. We're gonna see some family, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna watch that game. So I'm actually excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
Now moving on to something we both I've enjoyed, and I hope as part of the podcast we've certainly expressed our desire to help promote what we're going to talk about now.
Yeah.
And that's the WNBA, and I know there's times. What's funny, and I'm just going to keep it real here, so the audience knows too. We'll be at home, and like the NBA playoffs are happening, and my co-host here, my wife, she'll be like, "You want to watch some random regular season game of New York against Phoenix?" And I'm like, no, I want to watch it. But then when it's not games or when there's breaks or commercial breaks or halftime or whatever, I'm going to it. Then I start watching it. Sometimes we got sucked in. I like a lot. WNBA's been exciting. And if I may, I'd love to really quick concentrate on 3 WNBA rookies, one by one. And love to hear what you have to say about. The first one I want to mention is representing the Chicago Sky. She's currently in the entire WNBA, I think leading the entire WNBA in offensive rebounds per game, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the amazing Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
Yeah. So she's been pretty tough. Hey, you've watched her. You remember when the Sky played against the undefeated at the time New York Liberty, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Who's on New York again?
Brianna Stewart.
Baller. Stewie.
Yeah, she was a 23 and 18 MVP
2 times
of the WNBA.
2 times.
Yeah, she's killer. She's amazing.
Is anybody else on that team? In your girl Sabrina?
My girl Sabrina Awaski.
Close. Sabrina. Yes. Crushing it. So they were 4-0. They were undefeated. And they played against the Chicago Sky.
Yeah, and the Sky took them down. It was amazing.
And Angel played well because she has been playing well. She's actually statistically probably the second best rookie this year. We'll get to the first one. But this was awesome. It's been awesome watching. We've also watched and help me with her team. Whose team is Cameron on? Cameron Brink?
Sparks.
LA Sparks. Cameron Brink, as a rookie, is currently leading the entire WNBA in block shots per game. Like, as a rookie. Like, she's swatting it. And we've watched her. Like, they played against the Liberty too, right? Or no? If not, that's...
I don't know which team they were playing.
But she's been really impressive, right? You've enjoyed watching her play. Tall girl. About 6'4". Tall girl. But, man.
I think maybe 6'2". I'm not sure.
Ooh.
6'4" maybe. Might be right.
We should have a podcast bet. Podcast bet.
No, I think maybe we should have a podcast just like going over heights and
like a whole thing about that. Wow. Okay, but she's been really impressive, which has been awesome too. Now, we also have to mention the fact that yesterday, and they lost. The Fever lost again.
They have won a game.
One game.
And I mean, they are the worst team.
They were the worst team last year. They added a amazing talent. Miss, what's her name?
Caitlin Clark.
Oh, Caitlin.
Number 1 draft pick.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark's done a lot of really cool things. First off, she had her first 30-point game yesterday. And they lost. But first 30 points, I think 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Just an amazing. Secondly, as far as points, rebounds, and assists, I think she's her and 2 other players have ever done what she's done as a rookie. One of them, Sabrina, by the way. No. One of them is Brianna, Reese too, and the other one's Candace Parker from Naperville.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All number 1 draft picks, right?
Yes. But even like statistically, what they're doing is just amazing. There's been a lot of fair and unfair criticism about Caitlin, and I'm going to say it because when you use the word criticism and then fair, then instead of saying fair criticism, I'll say there's been constructive criticism, and there's been unfair. And the constructive stuff is the fact that she's going to struggle a little bit, as any rookie would struggle in any league, right? Like now she's playing against women, she's not playing against girls, like or young ladies like she was in college. So it's going to just be different, right? Like just natural. Mm-hmm. But the unfair stuff has been the fact that there's a lot of shots on social media, and for the most part, there's a lot of trolls out there. There's a lot of people that are ruffling feathers, right, and stuff like that. But saying that the reason why she's getting the attention she's getting is based on her the color of her skin, not the content of her character. And Dr. Martin Luther King somehow would like the fact that I extrapolated that. Here's what I'll say about that, and I mean it as much as possible. I'm gonna put it this way, okay? When Michael Jordan, and I'm not saying Caitlin Clark is gonna be Michael Jordan or is Michael, but when Michael Jordan became popular, which was pretty much when he joined the league. A lot of people gave him crap about the fact, or would say, his team's not being successful. Why is he getting all this attention and stuff like that? But during that, more people, even when he wasn't winning, Michael Jordan wasn't winning, right? But he was still performing really well. More people were starting to watch the NBA even more often. Like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, the NBA, people say kind of rescued it because before that it was like a big druggy league. There was a lot of players get busted for doing cocaine primarily. The finals were on tape delays. It was not a popular thing. And then Magic and Larry, really kind of just brought more people to the party, more people watching in this country. What Michael did is he made it more of a global game where people from around the world were watching it. Mm-hmm. He also was amazing at marketing himself. Obviously, we watched Air back in the day, the story about how he got Nike and stuff like that, and Gatorade commercials. He had so many iconic things. But people said, like, why is he getting so much attention? He's not as successful as his peers. But he was bringing more eyes to the NBA. And the NBA now is this amazing, huge sport that's global. And I mean, it's this big, vital thing. I would just say that I think, and tell me if you think I'm wrong with this whole thing. I know I'm long-winded now. Later, you're going to be like, man, sugar talk. But I want to hear you. I think Caitlin's doing the same thing. I think Caitlin's doing the same thing for the WNBA right now. Like, I think she's doing the exact same.
Yeah, you're right.
Bringing more people to the party. She's bringing more people to the party.
She's like the women's Jordan.
Only in the sense that she's really talented and she's bringing people to watch them, watch the WNBA that probably weren't doing so. So if I was any of those amazingly talented players that have, like, felt like, they weren't getting enough attention, blah, 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 sit back and enjoy and embrace all the different options that are coming your way now. Like
yeah, I mean, like, I personally think that it's great that all this attention is going to the WNBA.
Absolutely.
I had no idea.
Me too.
Who Breanna Stewart was. I didn't know.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Sabrina.
Brittany. I knew about Sabrina.
You knew about Sabrina?
I knew about Sabrina.
Because she played against Steph in the 3-point contest? Yeah, me too. Okay, I knew about that. But that's why.
Lisa Leslie, and Cheryl Swoops because of the Olympics.
Yes. Yes. Brittany Griner.
I didn't know about a lot of
We knew about Brittany Griner because of Russia,
Well, I think I did. I knew that there was a WNBA athlete detained in Russia.
You didn't know it was Brittany Griner. Okay.
I didn't know her name.
Understandable.
But see, I don't think it's all because women didn't follow. It was hard for women to follow because it wasn't put out there by the stations. And
good point.
The stations.
Good point.
Really
good point.
I know, like, back in the day when Magic and Larry, it was always put out there by the stations. Yeah. So
that's a good point.
It's
really good.
So the stations, like, when the Olympics happened back in the day when, in the 90s, like, they initially did put those games out there.
Yeah.
But, the NBA was already out there.
Right.
And, they were doing all the crazy stunts and the dribbles and the dunks. Yeah. And, women couldn't do that yet.
Yeah.
And so, when all these phenoms came, until Caitlin Clark, who was doing, like, stuff that, like, guys are doing.
Like Steph Curry.
Yeah. So that's what hit the mark.
Yep.
Even though, like, Stewie and Sabrina, Sabrina kind of did the initial thing. And Caitlin Clark kind of was doing it at the same time because, her junior year and senior year was kind of when it got really big.
Yeah.
And we kind of missed the junior year, but we kind of caught up, like, when Sabrina, did the stuff with Steph Curry. Yep. And then we're like, oh, it's Caitlin Clark and NCAA.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, a mixture. with Caitlin Clark and Sabrina. But prior to her, there wasn't really anything going on big time that we can really, that, we're guilty,
Yes.
We were ignorant.
No, yes.
We didn't watch UConn beat,
No.
so and so
Right.
all these years,
Yeah.
all these years,
Yeah.
all these years. Brianna was on it. Brianna, who else was on UConn? What which group?
A lot of amazing players. Very well said. One of the things you said, I think, is actually like really, really, really integral and really important. Access. It was not as accessible. It wasn't as easy for us to watch. I mean, now like on ESPN, ESPN2, or whatever, like we can see it now, and we didn't have that ability now. Which is great.
And that was my argument against you, or saying that women weren't, going there and this and that. It's like, well, we didn't have the access.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy. There's a lot of sports that it's like grassroots that kind of come from the bottom up and aren't as easy to access, and then as they gain popularity, bubble up. But I do think there's a lot to be said for that. One of the coolest things, and then unless you would love to say anything, one of the coolest things was the other day after the Fever played their game. I believe it was the game they actually won. After the game, there's a really beautiful iconic picture that I'm going to show you. And I don't know why I haven't, of Caitlin hugging Cheryl Miller in like a big embrace. And for those of y'all that know anything about the history of women's basketball, arguably,
yes, we know
Cheryl Miller's the GOAT, arguably. And she got hurt in college, blah blah blah. But she was so she was. Anyway, we discussed Cheryl Miller. It's a really beautiful, and it's. I always love seeing someone from way back. Embracing somebody from now, and like that sort of like it's a beautiful picture, and it kind of exemplifies like how far we're coming, and how far we'll come. And the last thing I'll say, and I know we've mentioned this young lady's name too, but in college basketball still there is a certain girl that was a freshman this year that plays on USC that'll be a sophomore next year, and her name's Juju Watkins. And Caitlin put something out there. And I don't know if it was on Insta or whatever the heck it was, but she put something out there like, Juju, you're next. Like, I'm done now. Like, I'm not in college, women's college basketball anymore. Now it's your turn. And I thought that was really beautiful too. I thought that was really so.
Yeah, that's great.
We're going to keep watching. We're going to keep promoting. We definitely enjoy some beautiful women's basketball. Before we get to our movie review, and I do obviously want to get to that, I just want to briefly mention the fact that Major League Baseball has finally done something that is relatively wrong to right. Back in the before 1947, before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier and played Major League Baseball, non-whites weren't allowed to play Major League Baseball, so they had something called the Negro League, and there were some amazing players in that: Cole Papa Bell, Buck Leonard, and the immortal Josh Gibson, a guy that when people would watch him play, they would say, well, he's like the Black Babe Ruth. And a lot of people that would watch Babe Ruth play would be like, no, he's the white Josh Gibson, because Josh Gibson was so amazing. And so what now they've done historically is they've ratified things, they've rectified things in the sense where the Negro League statistics are now actual Major League Baseball statistics. So, again, I want to be quick. We'll move forward here. So now everybody's kind of getting acknowledged for what they did. And throughout my entire life, Ty Cobb was always the guy with the highest lifetime batting average, if I remember, because I'm a math guy. It was 367. Well, now Josh Gibson is at 372. And funny thing is, you mentioned this to some people. Unfortunately, more people that look like me than my wife. Some people get really triggered, like, oh, they were in the major leagues, that doesn't count. They were in the major leagues because, spoiler alert, they weren't allowed to. I mean, Babe Ruth had a lower batting average playing against individuals in that league than he had in the Major League Baseball. Like, there's actually like statistics you can look up, and he actually performed worse playing against players in that league than he played in Major League. So I'm happy. It's first step, and it's nice to see people get recognized who didn't have a chance to get complete another recognition. Anyways, thank you for let me. I told you I wanted to mention that really quick. We did see a movie this week, if I remember correctly. Yes, we did. And I think it was called Challengers.
Yeah.
You want to summarize it for the folks at home?
Well, it was these two best friends since they were like 12.
Yes.
These guys, and they met this girl that was going to Stanford, and one of them ended up going there after the fact.
Yeah.
But they initially met her, and they were like, "Whoa, she's hot!"
Yeah.
And they both invited her to their apartment.
They did.
And like they all start making out. It's kind of like, okay, where is this going?
And took a little left turn there for me in the movie really quick.
And it did not go there. But
no.
She starts dating one of them.
Yes.
Not the one she ends up with. But it's like because they break up, I don't know, it just gets weird after that. And they stop talking, and she ends up marrying the other guy.
Yes.
And it's all about tennis.
Yes.
And
I don't know if we can really describe the ending, right?
So basically at the end, the two guys are playing each other.
Yes.
And the girl is like supporting the guy, but she's like still having an affair with the other guy.
Yes.
She's just like
crazy love triangle.
She's just like horrible. And so then at the end, like they both know, like the guy married, he still knows.
I think you're kind of spoiling the whole movie.
Anyways, so
we don't need to tell the exact thing.
Basically, it's like bros before hoes.
Whoa! Bros before hoes. Yeah. So, all right, let me tell you my quick summary, and then we'll give our ratings out. Okay. You're exactly right. So, kind of a little love triangle, and then the girl played by I think her Zendaya, whatever her name is. She's absolutely gorgeous, very beautiful.
She looks kind of like J-Lo. And he says Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
I have no idea where he's getting that.
She
does not look that old.
No.
J-Lo's like 50 now, but
I think actually J-Lo could be older than Catherine Zeta-Jones, which is funny.
I don't think so.
I think it's pretty close.
Zeta-Jones is old.
No, she's married to Michael Douglas, who's really old, which probably makes her seem older than she is. I bet you they're pretty close. But anyway, and both J-Lo and Catherine Zeta-Jones are both really pretty. Like no matter what you think age-wise, really.
But trust me, she looks just like J-Lo in the movie.
I don't think so. But it all depends who you trust. And by the way, if I was going to trust one of us, but I didn't think that. I think you pretty much summarized it for the most part really well, and I'm not going to spoil too much with it and stuff like that. I would say it was one of those movies where when you're done, you go, I'm glad I'm paying a certain amount of money every month so I can see whatever freaking movie I want, because it would not be a movie I'd typically choose. I liked the concept. I thought she was absolutely smoking. For sure. I think she's with I
don't know so much after she cuts her hair.
Still beautiful. She's beautiful. It's like my wife. Your hair can be down, her hair can be up. You still look beautiful. Right? It was not. It was okay. Anyways, wow. I think I'm ruining the rating right now. 0 through 5. What do you give it, babe?
I don't know. It was pretty good.
Okay.
I mean,
you got to give it a 5.5. What do you got to give it? 4 out of 5.
Give it a 4.
Okay, you give it 4 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Don't see it. Don't go to the movie theater. Maybe see it at home if it comes on Netflix.
Maybe see it with your eyes closed.
Don't go. Anyways, we have had a blast this week like we have every week. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We're not going to ask you guys we're not going to say every week how to get a hold of us. If you don't know by now, just watch the other 19 episodes and we say it at the beginning. But we appreciate you guys. We hope you have a wonderful week.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Take care now. Bye-bye.